Hello, what do doctors look for when they're diagnosing ADHD? My name's Dr. Simon Hill. I'm a consultant psychiatrist. As you can see from the grey hair, I've been doing it a while. The first thing about ADHD is it's a lifelong condition. It's a neurodevelopmental condition. If you got ADHD as an adult, then you also had it as a child. That's the first thing. So childhood history is vital. You know, if you can speak to your parents, find out about what you were like as a child. If you can look at school reports, was there evidence of poor concentration? Were teachers saying if this child could apply themselves better, they could be a success? Were they daydreaming? Were you daydreaming in class? Did you have difficulty sitting still in class? Were you very fidgety, or were you one of those children making excuses to go to the loo all the time because they couldn't sit down? Were you zoning out of conversations? That sort of thing. So all the ADHD symptoms as an adult, if you've got ADHD, they'd have been there as a child as well. Sometimes they become more prominent at different stages in life. So, for example, the transition to university is often a real challenge for people with ADHD because, often they're very intelligent people, hadn't struggled with school, but often that's because they've had a lot of support. They've had a lot of structure, a lot of input from their parents and teachers. Then when you go to university, you're looking after yourself. You might have left home. No one's telling you to do stuff. It's up to you. So you might procrastinate, put stuff off. And it's that sort of history building throughout life that builds towards a diagnosis. It's not just going through those questions on the questionnaire, a sort of screening questionnaire. You're looking for a lifelong history of ADHD symptoms. So that's the sort of thing we're looking for. We're looking for collateral history from family, could be friends. It's really helpful to have a questionnaire from people you live with. So, for example, if you're married, a questionnaire completed by your wife or husband, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, or whatever, and it's really helpful. I find it very helpful if the person looking for a diagnosis or who thinks they've got ADHD comes to the appointment with a family member, because that family member can give their perspective on the ADHD symptoms that we're talking about. So it's the process of diagnosis is much more than just reading out a questionnaire. You do need that background history, or it's unreliable, essentially, because anyone can read about ADHD symptoms and say, oh yeah, I'm extremely fidgety. Well, actually, I'd like to hear some evidence from other people that you're extremely fidgety, or that you're zoning out of conversations, or that you're extremely forgetful, or that you can't sit still, or that you can't pay attention to things. Because that is an issue. Some people are seeking a diagnosis because they want medication. And it's important to try and find out some more detailed information about the person looking for the diagnosis. So that's what we're looking from you. And if you're looking for an ADHD assessment, then it's going to be a much more valid assessment if you can get family, friends, parents to complete questionnaires about you, to get a family member to come to the assessment with you. Try and dig out those old school reports, that sort of thing. So that's it for today. If you like this content and you want to hear more, please do hit the subscribe button. Thanks very much. Bye.